talking about other products and stuff, outside of the sort of Google sphere of products, the kind of add-ons, we've been walking around the stands today, there's lots of other ISVs here. We spoke to some new ones, or ones that I was aware of, but sort of, weren't quite there yet as well with their integrations. What's your kind of favorite couple of tools that you tend to recommend to most customers?
Like third-party type
Yeah,
ones?
yeah. Like, what's your top two or three?
Well, all customers usually need backup, and
so
if they think they don't, they're probably wrong.
Yeah.
I really like.
They'll regret it at some point.
They do. It's a very polarized conversation. We don't really want it most of the time, but then when we need it,
they don't want the cost.
We need it.
Yeah. Nobody wants the cost, but
Big fan of Hiver.
Yeah.
Really, and there's a lot of use cases for that. Really specific use cases within a company. So usually not the whole company needs it, but for some teams in particular, really helpful.
Yeah.
It's a little costly, but the features are fantastic.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't need it for everybody. It's not a tool like backup where you're buying for pretty much every single user. And if anybody's interested in Hiver, we will link to our recorded webinar that we did together. That was in August, I think, September time. So still fairly current. So that's good. What else sort of comes to mind?
Well, we also like Cobry, where they're some CRM.
The CRM. I saw they were here today actually as well.
So they're integrated very nicely in G Suite. Like it picks up emails from prospects and stuff. That's really
love
nice.
that feature. Yeah, and you get that email in the morning going, hey, Rowan's a new prospect. You want to add him in and add in his details, and it pulls in your details from the email and signature and stuff. Like all that sort of data entry stuff. That's the kind of automation, machine learning stuff that helps people just get stuff done.
Quite.
Yeah, excited about that. Any others?
We like Asana. We use that internally for sort of task management, project management.
Okay.
It's quite nice.
Interesting.
I need to be using it better.
I'm aware of Asana, but not a big user of it. I have used it in the past. We use a few different things for project management.
Same,
But I'm on the lookout for something.
I don't think any of them are perfect for us.
No.
I don't think any of them are perfect. But it's good. It does the job.
Yeah. Have you come across that one, Monday.com?
I've heard of it,
It keeps getting advertised to me, so I was like, fine, I'll do your trial, I'll test it out.
It seems decent, to be honest.
Yeah,
experience of it seems decent.
I spoke to a few people who'd used it, and that kind of...
That's part you
that sort of, that kind of... You got a couple of people who've used it and recommend it, that makes you go, oh yeah, okay, this is maybe worth a look.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
We'd love to learn more about Happeo too. We're starting to learn a bit about them. This is really big for you guys, right? Yeah,
it is, and it fits into that digital transformation conversation. And I'm going actually to their internal communications event tonight.
Of course you are.
Obviously. But yeah, we've got customers using it, and it's a great product. Do you know what I mean? And I think often customers, when they hit a certain size, do you know what I mean? Below a certain size, below 150, 200 seats, customers don't tend to need an intranet or a digital workspace. I think some customers at that smaller end will get away with stuff like Google Sites. I've done a couple of videos on Google Sites and comparing it to products like Happeo. And I think you can get away with it, but then you get to a point where when there's 500 people in your company, when there's 1,000 people in your company, internal communication is harder. When there's 50 people, you know everybody. You can go around to the desks and you can. Do you know what I mean?
More of a structured approach. Yeah.
Exactly. You need a structured approach, and you need some sort of portal. Some sort of single place that people go. Like that's where all the information is.
And then it's easy and nice to use, right? Because if it's not easy and nice to use, then people just won't use it, right? As much as people try and push it, the management and stuff, it's got to be easy and good to use. Yeah. It's got to have that user interface that's simple. And what I love about the editing part in Happeo is it's very similar to Google Sites. So if someone's familiar with Google Sites, they're an IT guy, they've been using Google Sites, they move to Happeo and they go into the editing content creation bit and they're like, oh, this is really simple, this is familiar to me, do you know what I mean? So that's useful. And then they have kind of an area that's separate that they call their channels piece, and that I think is the piece that sort of sets them aside. So there's the traditional internet bit where you sort of create your site and you put in your content, but the channels piece is really interesting for me, and I think that is really their unique selling point or differentiator. And it's essentially a sort of social media feed. You subscribe to the channels that you want. So there's the company channel, and everybody sees that. But then I'm in the sales team, so I subscribe to the sales channel, or I'm in HR. But you also might be in like the Europe team or the UK team.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And so like in large organizations, the channels are great, and people can put sort of comments in there, but they can also share documents.
Right.
And it becomes a digital workspace. So the channel is the social media feed piece, and then there's also a shared calendar piece. You can see all your team's calendars, and then there's a drive, so it's got a shared drive, and you can decide what team drive or shared drive is put in there. And there's a couple of other elements. You can also click a button and be brought into a video call with everybody in Google Meet. So it's that single place that kind of brings a sales team.
One-stop shop for collaboration.
Yeah.
That would be the
cool.
phrase, right?
Yeah. It's very, very cool. And I think being able to sort of share an update, whether it's a photo or whether it's a document, and be able to comment on it in that sort of social, collaborative sort of social enterprise tool. Do you know what I mean? And the other internet solutions are great, but they're more sort of stagnant and like, I've just put it up and that's it, and nothing changes. Do you know what I mean?
And that may be appropriate for some content,
exactly.
Right? But you've got to have both, I guess, to have that full experience.
Yeah. And the integrations with Google are, because Happeo is built for Google, you can embed documents and slides and stuff directly into someone. Someone updates the document, then it's already updated. Indeed. On the
it's
site.
already linked there, yeah.
So
Well, this is just, it's an extension of the whole collaboration thing, right? The cultural shift that we try and push when we move someone to Google is you need to get users working together better, make it easier for them, faster. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, increasing the speed of working together, collaborative piece. And I think, you've sort of been showing it all this weekend because, as you said, you've been almost running the business from your phone. Do you know what I mean?
I'm trying.
Yeah, but like being able to do that is amazing. Do you know what I mean? The fact that you can talk to your team, you can find the documents you need, you can share them, you can email, you could jump on a video call if you wanted, all from your phone. Do you know what I mean? And when we show that to businesses who aren't living, like sometimes we, like companies like us, we live in the space so much that we think this is how it is. And then you talk to a company who's still working in the old way and they're emailing attachments. And I mean, I heard of a use case today for a customer that moved to Google and solved this problem for themselves. But they were coordinating, I'm trying to remember what area they were in. They were coordinating a bunch of spreadsheets anyway. And at the end of each week, 40 spreadsheets had to be emailed in to this one person. And one person in this team would have to stay till 1 or 2 in the morning because it had to be done by the next day. There's a time constraint. And they had to compile all the data from these 40 spreadsheets into one. And I was just like, wow.
But this is such an often thing. There's usually like one person who's doing this big, massive amount of legwork just because they're a nice person, right? And that's one of the most valuable, rewarding things we see when we move people, right? You get these little pockets of weird activity that doesn't really make sense, and you can just like evaporate it. It just goes away.
We can just solve that immediately.
It's lovely.
For them. Have you seen live editing on Google Sheets? Oh my God.
It can be quite an emotional experience.
I know, yeah. Really I often think IT is. Do you know what I mean? We're almost like. People sort of, what's the kind of word, therapists, do you know what I mean? Like they're kind of coming to us with their I would joke to customers when we used to do the IT support, I said, now tell me about your IT problems, you know what I mean? Like I'm caveating it with that, because often it is, you're solving some challenge that's often emotional for them.
Totally.
I think we probably